Y'all, I put myself in the position to be tempted so many times. Like, y'all know, you shouldn't be like at his, if you're trying to stay pure, you shouldn't be smiling Kiki Keen in his face at 4 a.m. in his dorm. You feel me? Like, God can only give you so much help, but you also have to meet him halfway. And the thing is, I was not meeting God halfway. Like, I wasn't even at the start line. Alright, I never get the intro right. Hey guys, if you're watching this video, you are experiencing life with me, Ayana B, and welcome to the experience. Alright guys, so today I have a juicy girl talk video for you guys. I'm airing out my dirty laundry in this video too. Alright guys, so this video is about keeping your purity in college and a lot of mistakes that I've made. So I'm gonna just hop into this video. If you don't know me, my name's Ayana, freshman in college. Subscribe, like, comment on more video ideas that you want me to do, but I'm trying not to ramble, so let's get right into this video. Alright guys, so where do I start? So for those who don't know, I want to wait till marriage. Okay, I want to not have sex until I get married, for a couple of reasons. I can make another video about that, but to honor God and to really just honor my body, if that makes sense. I feel like my body is a privilege, and anybody who just gets to enter it deserves to be my husband. It just shouldn't be anybody like putting their soul into me and pouring into me, because like not everybody deserves that privilege. Okay, but what I've learned is purity isn't just not having sex, and I think that's where I failed a lot in college. A lot. A lot. I made a lot of mistakes, so let's talk about it, y'all. So yeah, like I said, purity isn't just not waiting until marriage. It entails like different things depending on like what you and God discuss, and like boundaries that you set for yourself, which I really didn't have. So number one, I entertained people. A mistake I made was I entertained people who were not conducive towards my purpose. And for those who don't know what conducive means, it means like favorable or beneficial. And what I mean by that is a lot of people I was surrounding myself with, or let's just talk about boys. The boys I entertained, they weren't really passionate about keeping me and my relationship with God connected. They weren't passionate about me having, honoring God and having a connected relationship with God. And there's a quote that says, you can't control what you attract, but you can control what you entertain. And I know some girls who may be watching my video will be like, girl, but they just keep coming to me. These boys who are not conducive towards my purpose, or who don't encourage me to follow God. I don't know why I keep attracting them. And sometimes I understand that. Like sometimes, girl, trust me, I know, like these brothers just be coming out the woodworks and you just don't know what to do. But you can't control, what happens. You can't control who you attract, but you can control who you entertain. Say it with me. I can control, Ayana, just put your little name up in there. Ayana can control who I entertain. And the thing is, I was not controlling who I entertained. I thought I was strong enough. Like, I think the issue was I was arrogant. I was like, you know what? I could hang around this boy who don't really care if, this is not really fixated on me honoring my body in the way I want, And I'm not just going to put all of the responsibility on the boy, because I also did not set boundaries. I didn't know my boundaries. So when you don't know yourself, you can't really expect people to kind of like treat you in that way when you don't even know how to treat yourself, fairly or in a way that's purifying or glorifying unto God. But that's the next point. That's the next point. But the first point is I was entertaining people who were not conducive towards my purpose. So like, when if a guy isn't really, I don't know how to explain it, like really focused on, purity as much as you. It's in the conversations you have. It's in the fruit they produce. That's why I'm saying, do not focus on words, lady. Really focus on like the fruit. And like, I was entertaining conversations that weren't glorifying to God, talking about sex late at night. Y'all know them late night calls. And just like different things like that. And of course, over time will also be your best friend, because it like shows you the kind of person they are, and what they want to do, And like when a person shows you who they are, you have to believe them. And I think that I was kind of like fixated on, I can help them, maybe if I like just teach them my standards, they'll like somehow accommodate. But that was not the case at all, y'all. That was not the case at all. So yeah, I just kept entertaining what I couldn't, people who weren't conducive towards my purpose, because I just thought that maybe they'll change. Or I just thought that, hey, I deserve some fun in life. So what if like I won't be tempted? I have the power to not put myself in the position to be tempted and still entertain this person who encourages temptation. And the truth was, I did not have that power. I did not have the strength, and I fell short every time. Don't worry, y'all. I'm gonna give examples too. So second, I did not set boundaries because I did not know what I was fighting for. And that's one of the biggest things. I walked in college and I didn't really expect like me to meet anybody. Like I was like, you know what, freshman year, not really meeting anybody, not really talking to anybody, and that like completely busted. I didn't set boundaries. So for example, like I said, purity is not just not having sex, but it's like it entails different things. And like for example, not having sex is difficult because we're all humans and we all like, you know, we want that affection, we want that intimacy with another person that we love or that we like. And I'm gonna admit that, like, I don't think that the desire of having sex, it isn't the issue, but it's just like God doesn't think that sex is bad. It's just in the right container, you know? I want to reiterate that sex is not the issue. It's just, it's good in the container of marriage, you know? Just like water isn't bad, but when water becomes destructive when it's like let out, and like, for example, taking tsunamis, for example, you know? Like water isn't the issue. Fire isn't bad necessarily in itself. It's just when it gets out of control, that's when it becomes detrimental to purpose and destructive. So, anyways, I didn't set boundaries, so there's a lot of things that can lead to sex, such as like y'all, for example, groping and touching all on the boobs and the butt and all that kind of stuff. It can like enhance a lot of things, and like sometimes you don't have the power to stop. Thankfully I did, but you know, with the help of God, but a lot of people don't. For example, like taking all your clothes off and getting naked, like those are certain boundaries that people don't like. Those are certain things that people don't take into consideration when thinking about purity, and I didn't, you know. I knew I had an idea of what I did and did not want to do, but I really didn't like verbally say it or like write it down, you know. So for example, and I did not set boundaries physically or emotionally. So you know how in the beginning I was like, yeah, I can entertain this boy, it's fine, you know. I was still like not setting those emotional boundaries because I was thinking I could keep it strictly platonic, you know. I was thinking I could keep it strictly, you know, little flirtationship, but I didn't, because like we were having late night conversations, we were doing everything together, we were getting vulnerable together, and I don't regret it. It's just that if I didn't have the intention of like it going anywhere because I knew we weren't aligned spiritually, then I shouldn't have entertained it emotionally. You know, that was my fault on my part. Physically, I definitely did not set those boundaries. Like I was, y'all, I put myself in the position to be tempted so many times. Like I did not set those boundaries. I allowed myself to be groped on and to be touched on and to like, you know, like get on top of him and things, all like different things like that, you know. And I really wasn't setting those boundaries. And this is why you set boundaries, guys, because when you set boundaries, you're less likely to put yourself in the position to be tempted. And that's my next point, y'all. I put myself in the position to be tempted so many times, okay? Setting boundaries isn't just like part of purity. It's also like not doing things or putting yourself in that position to be tempted. Because let me give y'all some examples. Like y'all know, you shouldn't be like at his, if you're trying to stay pure, you know you shouldn't be smiling Kiki Keen in his face at 4 a.m. in his dorm. You feel me? You just shouldn't. And if you know you're trying to be pure, you know you shouldn't be trying to like put on your good drawers and your good bra underneath just in case something happens, you could be looking sexy and cute. It's just not like, you got to question your motives. Don't put yourself in the position to be tempted. And I did so many times. Kiki Keen in his face until 4 a.m. at his dorm. You know, trying to be cute underneath just in case something may happen. You know, like when we like were intimate, not in the sexual way, but like when we were like kissing and stuff like that, like I didn't really set those boundaries so it wouldn't lead into something else, you know. I would constantly put myself in the position to be tempted, like, and it just wasn't, it was difficult, y'all, because that boy was so fine. but like I didn't know what I was fighting for. I didn't know what I was fighting for, you know. I knew I was fighting for not having sex, but I forgot why, and I forgot how important it was for me. And I definitely say, like, definitely constantly reiterate your why. Ask God to give you the strength, but also in the Bible it says faith without works is dead. So you can have faith that God is going to give you the strength to keep you pure, but you also have to understand that you have to match it up with works. You know, you can't be like, God, I need your help me be a better person, help me be pure, and then you over here taking your clothes off in front of this boy. Like, God can only give you so much help, but you also have to meet him halfway. And the thing is, I was not meeting God halfway. Like, I wasn't even at the start line. That's the issue, you know. Okay, another point was I hid it. Like, there was no accountability. Like, you know when something is wrong, so you hide it so nobody's in your business, but you just be like, but I don't want people in my business. But the thing is, you really know that, like, you're not supposed to be doing this. That was me, you know? Like, in my youth groups, in my D groups, like, I was telling them to pray over him and doing all these things, but I didn't really tell them, like, the dynamic of our relationship or situationship, because I didn't want them to hold me accountable. And towards the end, I started to like, let them in, because, like, I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing it, because God, you know, he kept convicting me, you know? But, I hid it so there would be no accountability, so I could feel guilt-free doing stuff I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing, you know? And that's why a mistake I made, like, really tell people, and don't tell and confide in people who, how do I say it? Don't tell and confide in people who aren't on the same path spiritually as you. Because I think I had that issue, is God told me to do something like flee from temptation, don't have sex with him, don't go to his dorm. I would be trying to seek validation and confirmation in people who didn't hear from God, who didn't seek God in everything they did. And because of that, I was they're like, go Yana, go girl, you good, go live your best life, da, 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 da. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna live my best life, whoop whoop. And like, God was like, no, don't confide in them, because they're not pushing you towards me, they're not pushing you towards purpose, you know. But so that's what I'm saying. Have people who are really fixated on living a life that's glorifying unto God, and confide in them and help them, but also realize you have to go to God first. Like, if God tells you to do something, it's good to seek confirmation and ask for wisdom, but also know God's answer is the end all be all. And God was just telling me throughout this, you're not supposed to be with him right now. You're not supposed to do this right now. Like, you need to not put yourself in the position to be tempted, because he's not ready. You're not ready, you know? And I didn't want to listen. And I'd be like, all right, God, we staying friends, but I would do things that friends don't do. Like, friends don't spend nights. Friends don't cuddle. Friends don't do half of the stuff that we did. But, you know, you see what I'm saying? So remember, just like, if you lying to yourself and be like, you know, he's just a friend, and you cupcaking on the phone, you getting cute for him, you got to ask yourself, are you guys really just friends? And if he's not conducive towards your purpose, it's going to hurt and it's going to be painful, but you got to leave. Because trust me, I know it hurts, but I definitely learned through this sermon that just because that person left, it doesn't mean that your purpose is gone. It just means the thing that was blocking you from purpose is gone. You feel me? I'm gonna say it again. Just because that person left doesn't mean that your purpose is gone. Doesn't mean like your meaning is gone. It just means the thing that was blocking you towards purpose is gone. Like, God was telling me, I was like, God, why? I don't want to let him go. Why? But it was definitely like, you have to understand that God, his yes, his no, and his maybe is all out of love, you know? And I think sometimes we fail to understand that. We feel like God is trying to keep us from living our best life or blocking us from purpose. But like, God really does love us, and he really does want us to thrive and prosper. And he knows things like we don't. He knows what that boy was going through, and he knows like what was in his spirit, and I didn't. And God knows what's in my spirit, and I didn't, you know? And maybe like we just weren't meant to be together right now, or maybe we're not meant to be together at all. But like, the more I try to push, the more I was like prolonging the inevitable, which is us like separating, and us just like really being platonic and being distant friends, you know? Oh yeah, I'm looking at my journal, by the way, so if I keep looking to the side, that's it. Second to last point, there was no practical steps on horny night, so we're gonna keep it humble, open, and transparent. I'm just because you're being pure, that doesn't mean like the horny nights will go away. No, but you have to also enforce practical steps. Like, you can't just be praying, God help me deal with this, and like you don't do anything to also help yourself. You feel me? So I didn't have any practical steps on the horny nights. Like, for example, all you guys know that I struggle with lust, and like, you know, me and God are working on that right now. But now I have practical steps for the horny night. So like, when I am horny, or when I'm feeling like I want some affection or some love, what I do now is like, I go up, I literally have to get up, splash some water on my face, do 10 squats and like 15 leg lifts. I haven't done that yet, but next time, like when I'm feeling all lonely and vulnerable, that's what I need to do, because the God says, and people are like, oh, that's doing too much, girl, I'm gonna be tired. What if it's like 4 a.m? Sometimes you have to get up and be uncomfortable and offer your body as a living sacrifice, because that's what it says in the Bible. We're supposed to offer our body as a living sacrifice. So to protect ourselves from the principalities of darkness and lust and things like that, we gotta like really stay strong. And when you're horny, like, call on your accountability buddies. Like, y'all, I'm feeling this hyper weight, pray over me. Get up, talk to God, and don't like give the devil a foothold, because that's what I did. I would like allow myself to entertain these sexual thoughts and then wonder why I ended up masturbating 10 minutes later, or wonder why I ended up calling on this dude like 10 minutes later. And it's like, cause you over here thinking. You can't think wrong and do the right thing. You feel me? Like, you have to understand that. So don't give the enemy a foothold. Enforce practical steps on those horny nights when you don't know what to do. And then definitely set boundaries with God. So after this video, if you're watching this and you're like, dang, I'm in a relationship and we're not doing what we're supposed to, or this kind of stuff, or I'm single and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to, then like, definitely talk to God about what you struggle with. Really be aware of your patterns. I realized whenever I was sad, or whenever I was lonely, or whenever I wanted affection, that's when the horniness kind of was inflamed, and that's when it began. Because like, I used lust as a substitute for the affection I felt like I was missing. But you have to like combat that. And then lastly, ask God for help. You have to constantly be in prayer. And there's a quote that's like, people who don't pray are arrogant, because like, you have a God who's willing to help you. God's a gentleman. He's never going to push you to do something that you don't want to do. He's always like there like next to you, doing life with you. But when you ask him, he literally intercedes on your behalf, and things are changing. So we really need to start praying like it's happening, because it is, like things are changing because it is. But yeah, keep praying. Stay in the word, stay in prayer, because like when you're constantly, when you get up, don't be on your phone. Open the Bible, start talking to God, start praying. When you go to sleep, don't be on your phone. Start talking to God, start praying, because then you're like consuming tools that actually help you and stay pure. But definitely create your own reasons for staying pure. Trust me, if you doing it to just appear pure, or just like look good for other people, or doing it for your family, or just because you're supposed to, it's not going to work. You actually have to find your own reason. But that's it. If you've watched this video, you have experienced life with me, Ayana B. Thank you for watching. Drop down in the comments if you learned anything, or like if something's resonated with you, or drop down in the comments something that you realized that you should stop doing. Because trust me, I aired all my dirty laundry out. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. Sorry I missed last week. I was fasting. But thank you guys so much for this video. If you want more video ideas, let me know. If y'all want a lock video, let me know. I love you guys. Appreciate y'all. Be smooth. Remember, you're enough. Trust me, y'all. Being pure is not easy, but it is worth it in the end. Because trust me, you might be like, why wasn't an issue with like feeding lust? But trust me, it really like perverts your mind, and like you really can't. When you give into lust a lot, it starts to change the way you perceive things. Like, I was watching this video and this dude was like, ever since I started watching pornography and like being addicted to masturbation, he couldn't even hear a bed creak and not think about sex. Like, it really perverts your mind. It's like, sex isn't bad. I want to reiterate that. It isn't bad, but when done in the wrong context, it could be detrimental. So that's it. I love you guys. Ooh, y'all, I'm hot. I love you guys. Be safe, and I'm out.